Welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, suspended Minister of Police SENZO MCHUNU, so frustrated and so stressed. 13 September, few days before Madlanga Commission started, he was so stressed because he knows very well that MKHWANAZI has built a very strong case against him. Now, before we get into it, I just want to share Brown Mokgodzi's story. This guy, when MKHWANAZI went to Parliament, he claimed that he doesn't know Brown Mokgodzi, but those were signs of guiltiness. MKHWANAZI proved so many times that this guy is linked to Brown Mokgodzi, one of the criminal kingpins. Now, this is where he was denying knowing about Brown Mokgodzi. But the funny part is that General MKHWANAZI has WhatsApp leaks and other proof. I'm gonna show you a part where this guy denied knowing Brown Mokgodzi after MKHWANAZI approached Parliament.
I think I picked up something that Provincial Commissioner MKHWANAZI is saying about some fellow. 2 weeks ago, it does happen in a week or 2 or 3. I think a week and a half ago, I got somebody insisting that there's somebody who's going around saying he works with me wherever I am. He is there, and I said, show me the face. And it got to a point where he showed me the face, and I told him, I don't know this person. And a week before, there was another person, MCHUNU, who said he's my younger brother. My younger brother died in 2005, and I don't have any other. And so when the person says so, you really, so I think we must be very circumspect when people come to us and say, I must be an associate of this and that. I'm no associate to the person that General MKHWANAZI is referring to. But I appreciate whatever they discussed and then those things coming out so that I understand.
So guys, be mindful of the date, 5th March at the bottom right corner. This is when SENZO MCHUNU responded to MKHWANAZI and said he was lying, basically. So MKHWANAZI came back at the commission and said SENZO MCHUNU was lying.
Thank you so much, commissioners. As I wanted to indicate yesterday, the issue of a gentleman called Brown Mokgodzi, who is an associate of the minister, and that was collaborated by the chief of staff in the office of the minister. This Brown Mokgodzi, we have since discovered that he has links with the underworld. When confronted by this relationship between the minister and Brown Mokgodzi in a parliamentary sitting on the 5th of March, the minister denied it of knowing the person. And however, in a private conversation, as I had stated that during the press briefing, that the minister, subsequent to that, at the end of March, he had a conversation with a private individual, and he confirmed to know the person, although denying the person as an associate, but he had confirmed that the person is a comrade. And I said, I do not know the difference then between a comrade and associate, but the word we used was associate, as confirmed by the chief of staff. How I came to know Mr. Brown Mokgodzi is that, as reflected on my statement, that on the 30th of September, I received a WhatsApp message, and this WhatsApp message came from a person who described himself as he sent me the message on the 3rd of September, where he indicated...
Sorry, General, can I interrupt you?
Yes, sir.
Just remember that the proceedings are transcribed, so when you say 30 September, give the year also.
The year, okay.
Was it 2023 or 2024?
Yeah, no, thanks, Commissioner. My apologies for that. This was on the 30th of September, 2024, when Mr. Mokgodzi sent me a WhatsApp regarding an allegation of defeating the ends of justice matter, which was widely publicized in the media. arising from an incident that had occurred in a correctional facility in Richards Bay, in Etimpangeni, I beg your pardon, in KZN. Reflect on the experience, on the things that I had that are within the organization. So it was my effort. I was not necessarily invited for it. I went on my own. And thereafter, commissioners, I seeked an audience with the Minister of Police, Minister SENZO MCHUNU, as I said, talking to the Chief of Staff immediately after learning of the letter. Chief of Staff did not facilitate that meeting. And I even went outside the structures other than talking to the National Commissioner to try and secure this meeting with the Minister. I wrote the Minister a message myself when I requested the meeting. He acknowledged that, but he never afforded me the opportunity to meet with him. And I must say that I ended up breaking these protocols by approaching Parliament. And I made contact with the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Mr. Honorable Ian Cameron, and I must appreciate that he did his best to arrange for me to come and appear before the Commission, which I did. And I presented, which I referenced on record on the 5th of March. But even that presentation still did not help with anything. They listened to me, but it did not solve anything. And what is worse, the 5th is presentation, the following day, the 6th, the ministers having the National Commission, I'm told, in the meeting, and they are discussing the disbandment of the team.
Another important highlight that General MKHWANAZI was talking about is that after he approached Parliament, a few days after, they were talking about disbandment of political killings task team in KZN, SENZO MCHUNU and others. So this clearly shows you that it was Brown Mokgotsi or Ida Vusicat who were behind that one. Now, in detailed video, this where General MKHWANAZI complained about SENZO MCHUNU, cancelling the political killings task team.
Protecting the drug squad, media plays part. Let me rephrase. Journalists within media houses, they are part of this in pushing certain narrative. Why I say this is because a very well-known veteran, Ziligas of Africa, had contacted me almost immediately after this incident happened of Mpangeni. It happened beginning of the year last year. I think a month or so, he contacted me. He can come here and confirm that. He contacted me, said, Gerald, I'm hearing that you interfered with the police operation. And what is going on? So I explained to him the details of what transpired. He understood. Then he said, okay, well, there's some stories and there's nothing wrong. So he did not publish that. Later in the year, which I suppose maybe this why Mokgotsi is coming to me with this, is that first General Cele calls me, he's a former minister, he calls me and he says the Premier of Gauteng have approached him to go and work in Gauteng to help him fight crime in Gauteng. Therefore, he needs General Khumalo, who is a district commissioner and ex-task force commander in KZN, to come and work with him in Gauteng. And I find it strange because I think he called 2 or 3 times. While I was in a meeting, I kept giving the phone to one brigadier Abteles who was with me in the meeting. And after that, I had a conversation with General Cele, and then he pleaded with me to release this general to come to Gauteng. And my surprise was, but when General Cele was in the police, he did not like that general, Khumalo. He didn't like him at all. So why now that he's out of the police, he trusts Khumalo to come and work with him in Gauteng? It was just strange. And I turned to my colleague, Jaron Kua, who was with me in a meeting. This was in Durban. Jaron Kua works at the head office from HR. So I turned to her and said, but I received a strange call here. General Cele is asking me to approach Khumalo, who's a district commissioner in Zululand, to come and work with him in Gauteng, meaning he must resign from the police and go and work in Gauteng with him for 5 years, then he will come back into the police, which was very odd. And Jaron Kua was also confused. He said, but as far as I know, Cele didn't like Khumalo. And he made all of us at the head office to believe that Khumalo is a bad person. Why will he now suddenly want Khumalo to work with him? So it was just a strange call. I then contacted Gerald Khumalo. He's a major general. I phoned Gerald Khumalo and said, Gerald Khumalo, this is a request I received from Gerald Cele. Jerome Kumalo just laughed and he said, well, don't worry, the general is not serious about that. So I asked him, what do you mean? He said, no, he's not serious. He wants me to back off on the case against Khan, General Khan from Crime Intelligence. So Tsele is pursuing Kumalo to resign from the police so that he can stay away from the disciplinary case because he was appointed to deal with that case departmentally against General Khan. So Kumalo says, no, this is the approach of Tsele to want me to back off. And that got me so upset, commissioners, that can really General Tsele go to the extent of wanting a person to resign from the service because he wants to protect someone? It was very strange. I did not talk to General Tsele from the day. I did not talk to him. I was very upset. It disappointed me as a person who's a former minister in the police. I was just upset. Fast forward, commissioners. All right, thank you, Commissioner.
No, sorry, my apologies. I think you are correct. 239. I misread the other 239.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank
Commissioners, business people, this information that I'm highlighting here, it's an extract from the communication between different people that are subject to the investigation by the GCI Ops. And some of these communications are coming from cell phones of the people that are already arrested. And some of them are coming from the people that, where the team is conducting cordon searches and the likes, and they extract this information. And in some instances, they will probably get information from an approved download in terms of Section 205 of the criminal procedure to authorize the downloading of the information from different service providers. So this will, of course, then be a direct communication between people, and in some instances, communication from the third party that is going to be presented. There is a gentleman, according to the records that we have, that the team will come presented. There is a gentleman, according to the records that we have, that the team will come and display further, that he's a businessman in Northwest, Mr. Suleiman Karim. Mr. Suleiman Karim, as a businessman in Northwest, maintains a direct communication with the arrested person, Vusmuz Ket Matlala. And in their communication, it involves the contract that Ket Matlala has with the police service, which was a 360 million rand contract I spoke about during the press briefing. And in this communication that the two of them are having, Matlala is approaching him to help him engage with the minister in order to stop the cancellation of his contract. And this Mr. Suleiman Karim, of course, commits to do that because he has this relationship with the minister. And as I say, I don't want to dive deeper into the other conversations or activities that are taking place in that communication between the two. However, the intention here to display is to show that there is this gentleman that is part of the movement of money and the coordinator between Mr. Matlala and the minister, and is part of the investigation. That's why I'm not going to go deeper into explaining how the movement of funds and the likes are happening. But it's just to flag him as an enabler to facilitate the interest of the minister as well as the relationship with Ket Matlala.
Okay.
On the following page 234, I'm just showing the extra.
Sorry, General, can I just ask for completeness of my understanding? And if you can't answer it for the reasons that you have given, please feel free to say that. Is Mr. Karim in any way involved in the contract? Is he part to the contract between Matlala and the SAPS?
No, he's not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. You wanted to move on to paragraph 234, not page 234, paragraph 234, General.
Yes, paragraph 234. This is a communication between Mr. Vusmut Ket Matlala and his business partner, Mr. Mike van Wyk. I must say here that we are not necessarily blaming Mr. van Wyk of anything, but we are just displaying the level that Ket Matlala has an interest of what's happening in the police, that he even communicates with his business partners. So the text that is extracted from Mr. Matlala's phone as he was communicating with Mr. van Wyk, it reads as follows: a breaking news. NPA ID guns for National Police Rogue Unit. The NPA Investigative Directorate ID raids National Police Commissioner Fanny Masimula and National Crime Intelligence Head Lieutenant General Khumalo's office after serving them with notices of arrest. This comes after an investigation lodged by the Parliament Portfolio Committee. The National Police Commissioner General Masimula appeared weak and shaken when confronted by the ID. The ID had served him with arrest notice for 5 senior officers within Crime Intelligence Division, including its national head, General Khumalo. When serving the arrest notices, the National Commissioner asked the ID for indemnity from prosecution if he cooperates with them. An investigator states, the National Commissioner was very nervous and appeared to be shaking. He then blamed the collapse of crime intelligence at the hands of General Khumalo and KZN Provincial Commissioner MKHWANAZI developing. So this is just part one of the extract. This is an article that was carried in media. Commissioners, you're going to understand later when you show you the picture that as part of the concerted effort to damage the reputation of this Gauteng counterintelligence investigation operation is to feed the media with false information so that they create doubt about the officials that are working within that investigation team. So they're a typical example of what Ket Matlala sends. 1st of November, Mr. Adam sends an email directly to the Minister of Police, Mr. SENZO MCHUNU. He's complaining to the minister, and his complaint says that there are efforts to undermine investigation related to these cases, and therefore is requesting the minister to intervene. His email is attached as a reference that he sent to the Minister of Police.
General, if I may assist, that email you reference at paragraph 176 of your statement, and that is MK14, starting at page 265.
That's correct.
Thank you. You may proceed.
So these are the timelines that I'm putting before the Commission. That 29 October, 3 cases in Cape Town. 2 days later, 31st of October, 3 cases, similar complaint in all.
Make sure you are subscribed for more interesting stories that I'm about to share regarding others, Brown Mokhotsi, Bekicele, and more implicated in all these scandals. Make sure you ring the notification bell.